What's up, my dude? This is the track review of Pangkal Pinang, and this is the round something. Is it round 2 or 3 or something like that on the actual GP of 2017? So yeah, a pretty cool little rain ski style track here, and I love what these dudes are doing on MX Simulator. I have a lot of respect for them because they still go out there and make all these tracks, the real life replica tracks of all this, and if I had enough time I would race it, but just doing the RF pro racing stuff takes a lot of your time. So but trust me, one of these days I'll get in there and start racing the GPs on this game. It's just I don't really have the time at the moment, but pretty fun little track here, though. It's actually, I love rain-style tracks in this game. Something a little bit different, and they really did capture the feeling of, like, spinning and then having to huck a jump, really like a hard, kind of rough-style jump that's really peaky on the landings because it's kind of, like, washed out. I think they captured that part pretty well. There's a couple of jumps that you really get that feeling on. I think this one right here is definitely one of them. Yeah. It, you know, like super simple tabletop, and it's got almost like a indented landing midway through the tabletop where most people quote unquote land, but you can huck it all the way if you hit it hard enough and land where you were supposed to land if it was dry. So I really like how they did that on the track. Definitely is a good design as far as the actual terrain formations and things like that is good for a mud track. Now, as far as the actual feeling of the dirt, it's okay. The dirt, I'll tell you what it feels like. It feels like you're on a track where it maybe just started raining as soon as the moto started. You know, this track really doesn't feel all that slick, and I can understand why, because you know, when you're racing on it and you have a super slicker than snot kind of track, it's kind of hard to run a race on that. So I understand why they made it a little bit not as, you know, ice slick, but that's kind of the vibe I get from it. It's like, you know, you hop on a perfectly prepped track, and then midway through the moto it starts kind of drizzling a little bit, so it's not like the track's wet, but it's just got a little bit of slick maybe on the top, so that's kind of what it feels like. But as far as just like the rut roughness, stuff like that, it's actually built really well. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was cool, different line choices and things along those lines. Oh yeah, there you go, dog. My little putting two little words together like I love to do in videos on complete accident. But so yeah, you come through right here. It's a pretty small little double. It's kind of easy to almost jump off the track right there, but a couple of fun sections where you got to be pretty ballsy and just hold down the throttle all the way to the corner, you know, and you're just beating, banging, bouncing on roughness, and I love sections like that. That's one of my most favorite things to do, is just hammer it, shift up to 8th gear, and don't look, basically. So that's how a couple of these sections are. Oh, man. A lot of fun, though, man. I like how they did. Oh yeah, I didn't even really explain this part of it. I love how they actually did a rain style track. I wish they would do that with RF tracks and stuff, you know, make a mud or something like that. So I love how they did that, because this is actually a GP, one of the GPs that the EMF dudes race on and stuff. So I love how they had the nuts to do it, basically, and not just make the same old basic super dry perfect traction style track. I think they really need that variation in RF and all those different racing organizations. They need to have super dried out tracks in this game, is what I'm saying. They need to have super dried out tracks. They need to have really muddy tracks. You know, they need all that variation, even in Supercross. They need that different variation to it. Like, as of right now, you pretty much just have perfect conditions on every single Supercross track. And it just, I don't know. That's just not real life Supercross or motocross. Like, some tracks are going to be Las Vegas dry, and some tracks are going to be muddied out, you know, super wet on a Daytona or something like that. I mean, they could have very easily made the Daytona like a wet, muddy, and I guess I know why they don't, because they don't really know if it's going to be like that in real life or not. But who gives a shit, really, when you think about it? Like, let's just make a couple motors or something, dude. It ain't that big of a deal if you make a motor and it's actually not a motor in real life. And I mean, I'm not saying make every other race a motor. I mean, like, Jesus, just throw one motor in a year or something. You know, just make it fun. Like, put a little spin on the championship instead of just the same old same. But yeah, I love this inside right here. Pretty big old rut you can get right up in. So all the off track is pretty good. It's your solid standard GP off track style stuff going on here. But love that jump. It's almost like a triple, basically, is what that is right there. Even though it's just a normal tabletop, it's really more like a triple. Not technically, don't get on my ass in the comments. I'm just saying the way it's basically like two different landing line options, because most people can't even hook it all the way on a smaller bike. So, you know, so it gives you that different line option there for it. But I love this section right here too. Awesome ruts going through this corner. Then got this wall hook. You can hit it as hard as you want to. Love sections like, I like when people make walls that aren't too abrupt and too peaky, where you basically just have to completely stop on the wall and it makes it hella basic. I love when people make walls not quite as peaked, so you can kind of launch off of them and do different stuff on it. But oh yeah, and I love how he's got, let me show you guys something. Check out all these tear-offs on the gate. Wow, attention to detail, my dude. That's sick. I noticed that. I was sitting there on the gate and I was like, wow, there's actually tear-offs right here on the gate. Because, you know, if it's raining, you got to pull your tear-offs before you even take off. See what I'm saying here? You feeling my vibe, dog? Love it, dude. But, yeah, so I'm going to give this track I love rain and I love all that stuff. I'm going to give it a 9. And I'm going to say, especially when you add in that it's a replica and I'm sure it's identical to the real-life track. I'm not sure because I've never seen the real-life track before, but I'm sure it's pretty hella close to what it would be. I know they get these pretty accurate. So, and fun factor is there. Rut factor is there. Different track design style is there. The only thing I guess, I don't know. It's hard to explain the little one tick mark that it's lacking. I don't even really know how to explain it to you. But it's just missing just one little tick, you know, and just the, I don't even know. It's like the overall feel of the track is missing just one little tick. But I'm still giving it a 9 overall. And I would say the difficulty is probably hard, because if you're not used to this kind of thing, it's going to be a little bit tricky on you. So, hey dudes, I just wanted to let you know that there is a link in the description to donate to me if you want to support me. And if you can't, or you just don't want to, I totally understand. That's why it's completely optional. But I will be listing my top 10 donators at the end of every single future video, and I will shout out every new donator at the end of a video, even if they're not top 10. So I want to let you guys know that I have all of my different playlists on my front page, whether it be game-specific playlist or series-specific playlist. So if you're looking for any particular game or particular series that you want to watch, I have it all laid out there in a pretty organized manner on my front page. And my email address is spencerturley@live.com, no space, no capital. And I do accept sponsorship offers. And you guys should also follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, Steam, all that different stuff at Spencer Turley, no space, no capital. So anyways, I appreciate you guys watching the videos. Later, dudes.